Hey, hey! Let's see if the streaming rig actually cooperates this time. In my Friday stream, just as I was about to hit live, it completely corked up my ability to monitor anything, which was the suck. But I did a reboot, and it was a sort of a scary time. I got to message one of my coworkers and say, you know how when you do a sudo shutdown -r now and it goes through all of the shutdown process and then it gets to the part where it remounts the root file system is read-only? What do you do if it just sort of sits there for 5 minutes? And then while we both said back and forth to each other, it went through. So things are hopefully going well. How's everybody doing this fine week? We're at Tuesday now. We've actually made it 2 days through the week. And what an exciting night we have. I have at least 3 things to talk about over the next 2 hours. And of course, we'll be taking your questions about Sublime Text and everything. And I notice in the chat, Ayush is in there. Hello and welcome. And also Stephanie Kelly is popped in, who happens to be awake. Hello. You know, I got to read the name as it seems. Isn't it exciting that I keep the chat on my right-hand monitor? And that means, at least for this situation, it looks like I'm actually reading the chat when I look at it. I just realized that now after all of the time that I've been streaming. Haha. Dwayne, hello and welcome into the stream. We're just about ready to get going, I think. I like to make sure things are going to stay stable before everything goes kabloom. Could do a little scratch there. I can't help but say it. It seems wrong to say potato. You know, don't you know? Kareem, you're hello, goodbye, lurking. Well, it's nice to have you in any case. Something that's actually working this week that was not working last week is my monitor down here on the little stream computer that I got recently is actually working this time. Last week it didn't. It may or may not have been partially responsible for things that went horribly awry. But I think everything seems to be pretty stable. Let's say we pop in, ask some questions, answer some questions. I could use both of those things. I had quite a good sleep last night, but it's never enough, don't you know? Let's go ahead and push the magic button. Ben, hello. Welcome in. How's your Wednesday going? Well, I hope. It's like the ongoing thing that I can never remember how that is all supposed to work. So, what an exciting 7 days it has been. This last week, as a matter of fact, this is something that if Ashwin is here or shows up, he will be, well, that did not go as planned. Maybe we will just, pardon me for 1 second here. I don't think. Yeah. You stop that now. All right. Well, we won't do that then, shall we? We'll just do a little bit of this. Pardon me for a moment while I tap various buttons. Panic-like. Okay. And you. We want you. Alrighty. I don't think this thing can handle the Wi-Fi connectivity of this thing. Huh. Potato is better, is it? Pardon me for just 1 second. I can't remember where I heard it, but there's like a stand-up comedian, I think an Irish comedian, I'm not sure, who has a punchline to a joke that is "Fiddle-dee-dee, potatoes," and it makes me laugh every time, even though it's probably very culturally insensitive. Have a good morning, Kareem. A very large change log, you say? Oh my, that's exciting. Well, I have actually something here. Now, this is actually a plugin that I created a long time ago, and for a long time I used it in my live streams. Back before people were actually watching, anyway, when I was streaming on live on YouTube to anywhere between 0 and 1 viewers that sort of kept me on track with what it was that I was planning on doing while I was, working on a plugin or a package or something. And I thought, hey, why not actually bring that out? So you can tell that this is, in fact, so old a plugin that it's still using a version of Monokai as the color scheme. But I think that kind of works. This is the outliner for what's going on tonight. And the first thing that we should talk about here is the Sublime Software Sweepstakes, which wrapped up last Monday. And last Tuesday, 1 week from tonight, we did the live drawings for the lucky winners. Surprise! And I think it went quite well. And as we can see here, there was a little bit of a weirdness with the YouTube. It decided to crap out my connection for reasons that are completely unknown, even to now. I started dropping frames like crazy, but I don't know what was happening on the computer that was stopping it from doing that. But apart from that, we had ourselves some lucky winners, and the local Coyote, Gooey Bar 02, and Flex Tape My Ass. Still don't know whether that's a request or an interjection of some sort, won themselves personal licenses to Sublime Text, and YB, I think it was YB Bond, actually. I think I got that wrong there in the typo. And Ultra Instinct and Rustlanoid won themselves Sublime Merge licenses. I had said in the rules to the sweepstakes that I would send out a message via Twitter, and you would have 7 days to respond, and otherwise we would have to go ahead and draw another winner. But that was in fact not necessary, because it took less than 12 hours for all of the entrants to excitedly drop messages to me on the Twitter. So that worked out quite well. And as a matter of fact, I was kind of expecting John to provide me the licenses for me to mail out, but he just mailed them off directly to the lucky recipients, which is even better. So that worked out quite well. Very hectic as a first giveaway might be for someone that's never done that sort of thing before, but it all seemed to go off without a hitch, if you don't count the YouTube weirdness that we experienced there for a brief period of time. I had to actually the following day, the next Wednesday, was a Twitch stream. Normally I would do some sort of software development task, but the run up to the sweepstakes, making sure that everything was set up properly and it was working, and testing and retesting was enough that we just ended up playing a little bit of some games. We played Minecraft with Potato. I showed around the world, my Minecraft world, and then at Ben's suggestion a month ago, I picked up Crosscode, and we played a little bit of that as well. And then I ended the stream and had stuff to do, but then I kept playing a little bit of Crosscode, and then a little bit more Crosscode, and then more Crosscode after that. It was kind of insidious, but there we have it. Now we're patiently waiting for Mashed Potato to do another Minecraft stream of her own, so I can see a little bit of what she's got going on in her Minecraft world, and potentially, I don't know, maybe hop in there at some point and do a favor of just digging a big hole and collecting stuff, because that is what I do. JavaScript build system, I do indeed have something like that. Mine looks something like this. If you're using Node. Hello, Mike. Welcome to the stream. How's your day going? What are you up to in Crosscode? I went through the autumn place, and I'm up near the top of the mountains in the town that's there. I can't remember the name of it right now. And I need to adventure around a little bit more and find the mine that will be the next dungeon. Whoops, pardon me for bumping the mic. So I'm around about in that area, and I haven't invited the character to come back to join my party. I'm just sort of going around trying to get a little bit of levels, even though I don't think that's necessarily needed. This build here, Dwayne, is what I use for my Node.js build system. This one uses Terminus. If you didn't want to use Terminus, you could just leave those two lines out. But I use Terminus because, in this particular case, because I might be running something that is interactive in some fashion. But this is really all you need. You have to make sure you have Node.js installed, because Node is what you use to run JavaScript code. It's going to run the current file. It's going to make sure that the current working directory is the location of that file, and automatically select the build. So, for example, if we did console log for, whoops, well, Jello World would be pretty good. And save this in my home directory as, say, test.js, for example. Then set the build system, my friend, to either automatic or to the build system with the name that you created, which for me was Node.js, this one here. But normally I keep it on automatic. And then you hit the key. You get to choose, because I actually have a few of these, apparently, and there you go. The JavaScript is running, and life is good. I also have one named JavaScript, apparently, which you might notice is the exact same sort of deal. It calls Node with the selector of source.js. It doesn't use terminus, and this one has a working directory in it. The other one doesn't. Yeah, I was really taking you at your recommendation for that because I trust you, because the demo of it, but just as it's actually starting to get to the interesting part, that's where it cuts off and says, if you like this, you should play the game. So you just get to be on the ship. But the puzzles that were on the ship, I thought were like a good early representation of the sort of thing that you could expect. Having to jump up, go around, and shoot through things and bounce the balls and stuff, and the combat. So in retrospect, it actually does give you a pretty good sense, a light sense, because I know there's like tons of puzzle stuff in here. But yeah, I've really been enjoying it so far. Oh, thanks, Dwayne. I've been fiddling with it for, I guess it's probably coming on 5 years now. Ashwin, hello, welcome to the stream. How's your day going? We just we're going over in the old overlay the fact that the software sweepstakes was last week, and you were selected as a lucky winner of Sublime Merge. Have you been merging it up? Have you been finding excuses to do merge-related things at all hours of the day and night just because now you have a license and you could do it in the nice darker theme? There was a third one there, wasn't there? There's a third option. TypeScript, TS Node. That one's slightly different. Oops. Crap. I hate when that happens. I'm going to fix that again. This is a slightly different version of the two builds that we have already seen. If I was to arrange these, say like so, for example. Well, actually, I guess that's probably not that great, is it? That works out pretty good. This is the JavaScript file. The first one I showed you was this one that uses Node and Terminus. Or if you don't want to, you don't have to use Terminus. You could just use a regular build. This one specifies quiet, so you don't get to see diagnostics if it fails or how long it took. And this one does the same thing, only it uses TSC, which means that this one will work for TypeScript files and for JavaScript files as well, which is a nice way to go about that as well. I think I would have guessed that was you. Hello, Splashly, welcome. What's one thing I like about streaming on YouTube versus Twitch? The wonderful people. I will say that. The thing about streaming on YouTube is the only audience that you have is an audience that is already watching your videos. So if you have a YouTube channel, then doing live streams is a good way to build on your already existing audience. But from a standing start, it is an uphill slog to get people to join your YouTube stream, because by and large, YouTube isn't going to tell anybody about it unless you cram it down their throat. And I am terrible at self-promotion, historically speaking. So leave that for what it is. But there's a good bit of people over here. We have the same sort of things, sorta, as Twitch. You have to enable. I guess this is the thing. If you're on Twitch, then once you get affiliate status, which doesn't take very much, 50 followers, average viewers of 3, and however many hours of streaming in a 30-day period, you have the ability to get subscriptions, and people can give you bits and such. On YouTube, you can't monetize until you have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of accumulated watch time. So there's no monetary road for you on YouTube unless you hit that part. And you can have something akin to what subscribers on Twitch are if you set up channel memberships, which is not something that I have done. But I do this here to support the channel as a whole. And historically, actually, I did all of my software development for packages for Sublime Text here on YouTube as well. Now I've switched that up a little bit, so all my coding is on the Twitch. One thing we're missing here, raids. It's hard to build a community without a raid. Twitch is the way forward, yeah. Ironically, there's a streamer called Harris Heller, I think I mentioned this previously, that used to be a Twitch streamer, and he decided he wanted to stream on YouTube instead. And he waited for his Twitch partnership to lapse before he jumped over to YouTube. And he constantly talks about how discovery is awful on Twitch. And I think that is probably true if you're a gamer, but if like me and Ashley and Potato, you are, well, Potato is doing gaming stuff as well, I will say. But Ashley is also a streamer as well on Twitch. She goes by the name Splashly. You should totally, if you follow me on Twitch, get on over to Twitch, follow her as well. And you should also follow Mashed Potato. But if you follow me on Twitch, you already know both of those things. I think if you're streaming software development or art, the barrier to entry is a lot lower because there's more people playing games. So it's easier to show up in the search listings. And even when it comes to games, I think discoverability is awful. If you try to play the most popular games that there are, then it's harder to find a ranking. But having said that, the community on Twitch is really like a living, breathing thing, right? There's a lot more community sense on Twitch than there is on YouTube. Well, that's good. You're doing the right thing. I know some people from here that are also following you. So, see, this is the thing that, YouTube doesn't necessarily support the idea of community in the same way that Twitch does. On Twitch, we all help each other by shouting out other people we know that are cool, because we know that we can only stream so much, and we want to support our friends. And, why not? If you want to watch something cool and you want to watch somebody coding, why not watch Splashly if I'm not on? Because, by and large, she probably gets more coding done than I do in any given stream anyway. And everybody's got a little bit of a different thing. On YouTube, it's more of an every man for himself kind of thing. I don't want anybody else to steal my viewers because I need them all kind of situation. At least for the little guy like me. I suppose if you're like a Mr. Beast or such, you probably do a lot of collaborations and there's a lot more community there. But in my small niche of nerdery, not so much. So, question 1 out of the way. Build system for JavaScript. Several options for this. Yeah, that's right. You may, Tater, may recognize Ashwin by another name. He also joins my Twitch streams as well when he's not busy, joining in other ones. Have a good night, Ashley. I know it must be quite late. It's like almost midnight for you. Good gracious. So news number 1 was... I think he did. Yes, he totally did. He joined in the stream when you were doing the cooking simulator for the pizza thing. That whatever day that was, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Sunday, Saturday. Saturday? I can't tell what day of the week it is. Give me a break. Anyway, he was totally in that stream. The other news that we could discuss here is the realization, quiet though it was, that Will Bond, author of Package Control, liver of the dream of playing inside of the Sublime Text playground for money, packages extraordinaire, documentation maven, all around awesome developer, has apparently left Sublime HQ to work on at a place called Culture Biosciences, which must be super cool because when I clicked on the webpage, I had no idea what the hell it was actually all about. Well above my pay grade. Sort of a little bit of a shocking news, which I believe only came to light because someone noticed his Twitter profile was mentioned the fact that he used to work at Sublime HQ and doesn't anymore. There was a little bit of a kerfuffle in the Sublime Text Discord while everybody was concerned that package control was going to collapse into a singularity and disappear off of the face of the planet, which it turns out is, not the case, and I'm not sure why anybody would have thought that otherwise. He mentioned, I believe, just today in the Discord, some potentially exciting new things coming to package control at some point in the future to help make it more sustainable for him, both time-wise and money-wise, or rather money-wise to sustain the time-wise, because it is actually a gigantic money hole for the service that he's providing to everybody that uses Sublime Text to be able to install packages. So I'm not entirely sure what all of those plans are going to entail. Some of them sounded like they were more corporate in nature, but one way or another, we're going to be throwing our money at Will Bond. And we should, all wish him the greatest of success in his new endeavors. And he's still going to be part of the Sublime Text community. I'm imagining that he didn't set fire to his copies of Sublime Text either. He's been using it for quite some time. Now, on to other news. It was recommended that maybe we have like a moment of silence for Will. But that, I think it was Ashwin that may have said that. Can't remember. He will be missed as a developer, but he's not going to be missed in the community. And I noticed a lot of activity on package control just earlier today as well, which is probably a good sign, all things told. Now, this is something that has been discussed in streams before, but it's been cropped up again, and I think it is time to actually bite the bullet on this and start doing some stuff. So Sublime Merge videos, we did give away some licenses to Sublime Merge, and that was largely because of the work of Ben and Dylan, if I'm being honest. The plans for the giveaway was only going to be Sublime Text licenses, but we got our hands on Sublime Merge licenses as well. And I think we need to do some service to those on the channel with some videos on Sublime Merge. Now, we've discussed this previously. I would like to create a small video or two that sort of is a primer for Git as a version control system in general. Because I think, talking about Sublime Merge, it would be handy to have something to refer back to for Git terminology. We'd like to think that anybody that's using Sublime Merge is probably already intricately familiar with Git, and they're just looking for a tool, but that's not necessarily going to be the case, and we want to support people that are new. Such a video can't be super all-encompassing, I don't think, because Git is a monster with all of the functionality that it has. But I think there's still something that we could put in there. And then we could go into actually describing Merge itself. So open call. If you are a Merge user, tell me the features that you like about it. Was there anything about using Merge initially that stood out to you, something that you were delighted to learn, something that took a while to figure out, and things of that nature. And you can help guide how the videos go in this particular series. The current plan for this is potentially, and I can't promise anything because time is somewhat limited. I have streams here on YouTube on Tuesdays. Wednesdays and Fridays, I stream on Twitch. Saturday and Sunday are family time / a little bit of video time. I got to have some time during the week to actually record videos and come up with the content that's in them. But if I can swing it, it might be for a period of time anyway. Sublime Text video on a Monday, and maybe a Sublime Merge video on a Friday until we go through the series. So for a week, for however long that series goes, there could be 2 videos a week. I'm not sure that I can sustain that. I'm not sure I can do that. Well, that's sort of the plan. But otherwise, we'll do some sort of handoff back and forth kind of operation. Yeah, that's just it, right? Assume Python knowledge. That was largely because trying to teach somebody Python is also a daunting task. To be sure, when it comes to some sort of like simple video on Git, we're basically talking about the idea of cloning a repository, making a commit, checking things out, using that library that I've had open in a tab for forever. And again, we've covered this on the channel before, but I don't want to go into any like super detail, but I have seen people asking some fairly basic questions about Git. So I'm willing to do, at least initially, some simple stuff describing the very basics, assuming that you're just a single person working on Git to get your feet wet as it is, which would also be a great opportunity to showcase a few Git command line commands so that later on in Merge you could say this is running this command and actually show that. But we'll see how that comes. I believe, like Plugin 101, this is something that I'd want to, before I even commence any video production at all, come up with the series of videos and the breakdown of how everything should look initially, to have like a running start on the arc, if you will, of how those videos would lay down. Yeah. And the thing is, when it comes to actually using Merge, and I could click the button here. Ooh, this is let's switch to a different repository. Say the override audit repository for that one. That's a work project, but we don't need to worry about that. Clearly, one thing we'd want to do is something akin to, oh man, I wish that worked more like I wanted it to. I really do. Do a little about so. The video that was very well received recently on the channel about going over the user interface of Sublime Text and all of the different parts. So, toggling, deciding how you want things to look, moving back and forth through the history stuff, stashing, that this shows you a list of branches, that this shows you the Git commands that have been executed, for pulling, for pushing, being able to track files, the graph, looking at the tree, including the new filter action, which is exciting. We were discussing this in the Discord. And being able to see branches, remote stashes, hiding and unhiding various things. Those are all things that would need to be in the video. I guess also the idea of collapsing and uncollapsing merge commits, because that seems to be something that confuses people as well. and maybe also the configuration very quickly. That sounds like more stuff than we'd want to put in one video, perhaps, if we want to actually explain any of it in any great detail. Apart from that, what would be handy in something like this? That, probably, right? We already covered integration with text. What else could go in this video series? Looking for some examples that people might have for this as well. We want to just get like a big old list of topics, and you can drop those in the Discord as well if you think of stuff even after the stream to go along with the next thing that we're going to talk about here in just a moment, which is the upcoming video on publishing to package control. Because as mentioned in the Discord, this is something that has actually come up semi-routinely in the last couple of years, but recently it's been popping up more and more. People have been asking. In fact, just the other day, someone asked flat out in a public YouTube question, how do I publish my package? But I get a lot of that in direct messages and in other places as well. So as outlined in the Discord, let's do a video on that. Now, the idea that I floated here is one of two things. This could be one long video, which would probably be half-hour-ish or maybe a little bit more, just off the top of my head based on the amount of content that there would be in it, with very clearly delineated chapters via the YouTube chapter mechanism, with title screen transitions between each of those, or a series of smaller videos in a playlist, otherwise in the same fashion. So basically all the content in one video versus a bunch of smaller videos, and each one has their pros and cons. If it's one video, then it's easy enough to share and link to just one particular part. So someone on Stack Overflow, for example, could say, have a question about the channel repository, and you could say, this video talks about it, and here's the part, and provide a link directly to that chapter. And if they needed any other help, because they have the one video link, they'd be able to jump directly to any part of that they needed. I had an idea for what those were earlier, but I don't think I wrote them down because I was walking. Ashwin came up with a great list of things to say about packages in general. But basically, the general idea is first you have to have an idea for a package, make sure that your package works, test it a couple of ways, test it locally, set up a repository, add it with package control, and then try to install it, make sure that it still works. There's the list of things that Ashwin pointed out to look out for in your code, because there will be a manual review of your package, and you want to make sure that the operation, goes as smoothly as possible, because there can be a bit of a delay between when you try to get it published and when it actually arrives. So you want to clear up as many problems as possible before you even start, which includes, I'm not sure if it was in your list, Ashwin, but things like making sure that there's not already a similar package, because the maintainers of package control want to make sure that the package ecosystem has a good diversity. They don't want like 30 packages that are all more or less exactly the same thing. That's not that great for everybody. Then we move on to forking the package repository, setting up the entry inside of the appropriate repository file with the caveats to that, like making sure that you pick the right file and that you're in alphabetical order. You have your versions and your tags set up correctly and in your repository. Use channel repository tools to do any pre-flight checks. Then create your pull request and wait. And as a part of that whole thing, we're going to want to have an actual package that can be submitted to package control. And the two suggestions one of them was the Scratch Buffer plugin, which is available in the Stealthy and Hasty Git repository. And if you haven't seen it, it works like this. You can choose any syntax you might like out of here, like say for example, JavaScript. And now there's a scratch JavaScript buffer. The syntax is automatically set as appropriate, as we can see down there below my face. There. Mirrored and backwards, tricky stuff. And then you can, write code. If you wanted to, you could save this, and it'll all work. There's so many of these that you can have some of them just automatically in the command palette. Historically, I did this because these were the ones that were most prevalent for me. I wrote this to make it easier to write, to help people with problems in the Sublime Text forum, as a matter of fact. If someone says, hey, this JavaScript file doesn't highlight correctly, well, grab their code, paste it in here, syntax is all good to go. And similar. These days, I just always use this one. So Ashwin thinks that this could be useful to people in general. I know he uses it. I use it. Maybe other people do as well. If there's not already a package like this, I'm totally down with that. Which also, points out that once this is added, we're going to need to eventually push an update to said package. And that could be another video, although that one would probably be a month or two down the line, right? Because it can take a while for packages to be approved in package control. Now, to be fair, I haven't done it in a while. I have override audit added. That was one PR. It took not too long a time. It was at a point where there were, I think, more people reviewing the queue in package control. Then the next thing I did was setting me and Keith up with our own repository, if you will. Basically, we can release packages to package control now without having to do a PR, which is not something that is generally available to the public, I would imagine, because for the aforementioned reason that packages that are added to package control usually go through automated and manual checks. Someone gives it the once over and makes sure that something is not doing something a little spoopy or gross, that there's not already a package, that there's not any obvious problems that this might cause before it's approved to be part of package control in general. And, I think Keith and I have both proven our prowess that we're not likely to inject a package like that into the ecosystem. Good night, Potato. We'll see you tomorrow on the Twitch stream where we'll be doing some coding type stuff. I think more of what I was working on Friday, because what we were working on actually worked for me, didn't work for the actual recipient, which was the sad. But I'm always glad when you stop by and that my sonorous nerd tone can help soothe you into a sleep at what has to be 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning by this point. Good gravy, Potato. You're going to be a tired tater. Also, that's a pretty awesome little emote, whose name I'm not allowed to know. Thanks, YouTube. You're awesome. So yeah, let's go ahead and pop that back up for again. Oh, right. So I was saying, I don't know how long the delay is now between when you submit a package and when it actually gets approved. I'm not sure what the status is on the people that are reviewing packages. So it could be a little bit of a delay, but there would also be a follow-up on, so you need to update your package. What do how do you do that? And the answer is, it's actually pretty easy. You don't have to do much of anything. You just have to make sure that you give it enough time for the crawler to come around. And despite the fact that there's a lot of stuff happening on package control right now, I'm pretty sure that's all related to dependencies. I don't foresee anything in the process for adding packages to package control changing in any meaningful way, which would make this more of an evergreen content. Oh, Braver's on there too. That's cool. Let's say, like, I have the channel in the Discord where new package notifications come from, currently muted, and have for a while. That and ticket updates, because I get ticket updates on my phone. For a while, I was trying to follow them just to keep a track of the new packages that were coming into the ecosystem, but I got too much stuff going on and it was a little bit too distracting, so I muted them. So if that's cool, if that even steps up the timeline for something like that as well, and also underscores the idea that whatever package we do this with should be something that is robust and actually useful. On tomorrow, the plan is to work a little bit more on what I was working on Twitch on Friday, which was, and I don't have it available at the moment here. It's because I use a separate copy of OBS for Twitch than I do for YouTube to make sure that there aren't any unfortunate cross-stream accidents. But I have a friend on Twitch who had a need for an on-screen checklist of things, and he was doing it in kind of a painful way. I saw him streaming that, and I was working on a single page of HTML that he could add to his OBS as an overlay that would allow him to do a checklist. And it works really great in regular OBS. Unfortunately, he uses Streamlabs OBS. It's got some functional differences. It doesn't quite work correctly there, but I have some ideas for stuff that I like to play with regarding that. So probably a little more of that. Yeah, time is always at a premium, right? I know the feeling on that. This is also why there's a potential that every couple of weeks on Twitch there may be just a game-related stream like Crosscode or a little bit of Minecraft or a little bit of something like that. Just for the same reason why I started streaming on YouTube, which was I wanted to work on packages and I wanted to keep myself accountable for actually following a schedule and finding time to actually work on packages, because I had a hard time tearing myself away from my regular other projects to work on packages. So I started streaming on package development on YouTube. And then after 2 years, I started streaming coding on Twitch because I wanted to get into more actual other coding than just packages all the time. I still do work on packages, I just don't do it on stream, generally speaking. Although maybe we'll dabble in that a little bit tonight, because somebody did ask a question, which was vaguely intriguing. And, nerd sniping being what it is. But by the same token, I like playing games. I never really have a chance to, with helping people on the forum and Stack Overflow and hanging out in the Discord, all of which I do, voluntarily. I'm not complaining by any stretch of the imagination. And the time that it takes to come up with ideas for videos and record them and put them together and upload them. And the streams that I do here, I don't have a ton of time left for playing games, which is why I generally have been enjoying Switch games, because you can easily pick it up, play for a little bit, put it to sleep, and you're good to go. I didn't do that for Crosscode, though. That's a computer game. So I'm thinking, maybe on a different day, maybe Monday night gaming for a little while on Twitch. I don't know. We'll see what happens on there. Definitely viewership is higher for me coding than it is for gaming, at least that one time. Although I did get some... It is, yeah. I have it on my wish list on Switch, so that when it goes on sale, I will buy it there as well. But in this particular case, I bought it specifically on PC and specifically on GOG, or GOG. I don't know if you're supposed to pronounce that. Just so that I could play it on my Linux box and play it on stream, because it's technically possible to get Steam running on Slackware, but it's more trouble than I want to go to, because it involves 32-bit compatibility libraries. Yeah, the genesis of that was that the whole giveaway thing. And that's why last Wednesday's stream was, let's just do some gaming, because I need to decompress a little bit after all of the stress. Interesting. Yeah, when I realized that the downloadable version of the game is actually, it's basically like an Electron app, I was like, I can't believe that Nintendo even allows such a thing. Oh, itchy nose. Have you played it on Switch? Is it like terrible performance, or are we talking like every now and then if there's a lot of things on the screen that doesn't quite have the frame rate? I have to say I'm overall very impressed with the quality and polish and speed and frame rate and complexity of something that is entirely written in JavaScript. I've played some native games that don't perform as well as this one. So kudos to Impact.js and kudos to the developers of that game for pulling that off. But yeah, I could do like half gaming and half that. I'm down with that too. Interesting. That makes me feel better about the idea that I already have it. So to buy it on Switch, it would have to be on sale for like 50% off or something. I'm not outside the realm of possibility that something like that could occur. Even so, I own, for example, multitudes of copies of Terraria. I have it on Steam. I bought it on GOG so I could play it under Linux. I have it for the DS. I have it for the Switch. And I also own it on Android and iOS as well. And the first one's one of those I paid full price for, and the other one's because I already had a copy. I waited until it was on sale for $5. Because I want to support the developers, but also I want to have money for other stuff too. Indeed, super kudos to Ben for pointing that out. I shouldn't have been as surprised by, because the demo is actually something you play in the browser, which should have been the humongous neon light clue that this is a web game. But it never really occurred to me until I downloaded it and fired it up, and it mentioned Impact.js, and I'm like, hey, wait a minute. Or it mentioned Impact. I'm not sure if the logo is Impact or Impact.js, but it's a library that I've played with in the past. And I thought, holy crap. And then I looked closer and went, yeah, this is Chromium all over the show. I will say this, getting saves in and out of it, ridiculously easy. You just push F10 and you can copy a Magic Base 64 encoded string to the clipboard and then go to another computer, start up the game, press F10 and paste it in, and boom, your save is good to go, which is nice because I played for a long time on this Linux box and then I wanted to play on the laptop. So I installed it over there in GOG Galaxy, which supports the cloud, but I don't have Galaxy installed for Linux, if such a thing is even possible. I don't know. I never checked. So I had to manually sync the save game over. But I will say I've seen a lot of games written in JavaScript. I don't think I've ever seen anything this technical and deep and advanced written in JavaScript. I can only begin to imagine what that must look like behind the scenes, but they did a hell of a job. And I love the pixel aesthetic of it. The music is really reminiscent of the era. Well, I say that only in as much as it's really easy to pop up like a dialogue and such. I believe there's like a file that you can just copy as well if you want all of the slots, but yeah, that's probably not directly related to the fact that it's a JavaScript game, but I don't remember ever coming across a game that had its own internal, yeah, sure, just do this and copy your save game somewhere, which is super boss as well. Makes me feel extra bad that if I bought a copy for Switch that I would want to get it a little bit on sale, because clearly they deserve every penny for the trouble that they have gone to get this thing working. All right, well, We're about an hour in here, so what's to talk about now? Again, now, if anybody has any suggestions for merge stuff or what should go into the publishing a package video, if there's any questions that you have about that, you can drop them in the chat here. You can mention them, ping me on Twitter. If you're in the Discord, my Discord, that's an even better place to do stuff like that. And that is stuff that will be upcoming soon. I'm figure quoting that because it's a non-insignificant amount of work, and I refuse to make a timeline that my butt can't cash, such as it is. Now, somebody asked, I believe it was earlier today, in the comment section for today's video, if there's a way in Sublime to execute a command that's not bound to a key and not in the command palette. And then they called out Emacs key binding, which apparently allows you to just type in the name of a command and then it will execute that command. And the answer to that question is, yeah, you can open the console and, whoops. Run a command that way if you like. But you could set up a plugin that prompts in the input panel or in the command palette for the command to execute, and then call window.runCommand on it. Is that an interesting thing? Is something like that already exist? What would be the use case for being able to execute an arbitrary command like that without just doing it manually? I can kind of see myself wanting to do that because I do occasionally run commands and do ad hoc stuff in the console, but I kind of target myself at the API specifically. Or I'm doing something because someone asked a question and I want to try it before I copy and paste what I typed so that they can do it. I can see pros and cons, I guess. I never looked to see if such a package actually exists. I would imagine you'd want it something similar to this, right? Or this, for all intents and purposes. We could actually augment this particular plugin, couldn't we? Because this has things like knowing where commands are. So the API now has the ability to, if I remember correctly, I haven't played with this yet, Ashwin will be able to correct me, use events to know if the user is pressing shift or what have you, or I guess maybe not shift, but a modifier key. So instead of just an enter navigating you to the command, control enter could execute the command instead. I imagine where this very quickly falls down is commands that take arguments. How do you handle that? Yeah, that's what I thought. You'd probably want to have placeholder text here in the quick panel telling you to enter to browse to command or control enter to execute. What about a command that takes an argument? Because this requires an argument. If it's in the command palette, it'll just automatically prompt you. Although I think to be safe, you really should use the show overlay and give it a command to execute in that case. Historically, that was a problem in Sublime. I guess it's fixed now that that always works. I'm not sure. But what about a command that takes arguments? Oops, I always pick the wrong one. What do you do in that case? We know that this takes an argument in this particular case, and that what it takes is an argument named expr. So we could, in theory, set up something that would allow this to work, but it would require you to know what to pass, or what the arguments actually should be, which I guess arguably is something that you'd have to know anyway if you were to be running a command like this. So maybe that's not a big deal. Also, I believe, I don't know of an example offhand, that there are some commands that may not do anything, like this one. Wow, that's a bad example. That's from File Manager. Yeah, I don't either. I don't see the use case for it myself, except for very simple exploring. And even then, I can almost see the notion that if you wanted to run a command, it could be easier to do it if you could filter to find the thing, or find it that way. It would actually be easier and more useful to me if picking this opened the console and injected stuff into the console input widget to get you ready to execute it, if anything. But on the whole, I'm not sure that I'm down with that as something that's useful. It would mostly just be an exercise in playing with related APIs, realistically. And the other big failing of this, which is something that package dev had to solve on its own, which is not all commands are implemented by plugins, so not all of them are immediately discoverable. Like for example, chain is a command now, but you wouldn't know it. So there'd have to be some sort of patch file. The thing about that is, I'm not sure how feasible that actually is. There is something that would tell us where the console input is, so theoretically we could find it. I can't remember if the same console input widget view is shared per window. I want to say the answer to that is no. I want to say if this console has some text in it and I had another window and its console was open, clearly those are distinct views, right? But I seem to recall it being problematic to find the view associated with this in this way. And again, it has been a long while since I played with this. But generally the idea that if you want to know the input widget, or the view of the input widget, the two things that come directly to mind are have a command that's a text command and invoke it while this input has the focus, or manually create your own views with a range of view IDs. Neither of which seem particularly great, right? But for our purposes here, here's something to try. if we had a command that you could invoke from the input widget, and we should probably, this is going to be hidden behind, but just add a key binding for, let's say, super plus t to the command that thing, such that if I did it, that command is executing, which is neither here nor there. You couldn't quite see to be entering that key binding, but I presume anybody that's watching this knows how to set up a key binding if they need to, and if not, you could ask. And there's also a video on the channel about it as well. I'm not sure if the bot is pointing it out, but if you happen to be watching and you have a question about absolutely anything Sublime Text related, feel free to chime in. Don't feel like you're disrupting anything. But let's get a little bit of this action going. Caption. So we might say command as the caption. Initial text is going to be nothing here. On done, on change. So let's say self.done. And we don't care about change and cancel. Your second account. Hello. Welcome. You have 2 accounts as well, do you? I also have multiple accounts. How is your day going? What's your other account? Is it just your name? And do you have a channel on YouTube? Is a question we also should be asking. Hello and welcome. Let's see. Here's the theory. Oh, I gotcha. If we invoke that thing command from this view, then the command executes in the context of this widget, which means that the self.view of the command will be the input widget of the console, which means that when the input panel finishes executing and onDone is executed, and self.done gets triggered, self.view.run command insert should insert the text back into the input widget of the console, right? Maybe I should add some of those. Show panel, I think it is. If I had to guess. Nope. Maybe I should put some brackets there. 0 for 2 on that one. How is your day going, Christian? I'm not sure that I pronounced that correctly, hardly at all. What obvious thing have I done wrong here? Here is... I feel your pain on that. I don't know why that just made a noise. But if I was to scroll up here a little bit, I'm going to copy and paste something here. That I shared with some coworkers earlier. Whoops, that did not work as expected. Technically, this is related to proprietary software, but I think it'll be okay. This is the output of this command to see at that particular point what things had been changed in the most recent commit, which by and large is a good 60% of the files related to this particular project. And this is only one of about 30 commits that had been made up to that point of a similar bent. And I have made many more since then. This is why I mentioned earlier in the Discord today that this is the first time I've had the opportunity to use the new filter functionality in the files panel. And man, is that cool. Dealing with this level of changes is definitely awful. And this is just actually making the changes. This is not even, what you're probably doing, which I think was something related to actually creating the change log for changes or something, which can only make me wonder if I should be checking obsessively to see if there's been an announcement in the channel. Let's see. Nope. Not yet. Soon, though. Just because, oops, that's not what I meant to do. Just because I'm curious about this now. Why is window none here? That wouldn't be the case everywhere, I bet. Yeah. I guess because this is the console widget. That's a weird turn of events if that's the case. Easy enough to fix. I wonder if that's expected. Oh. Look, I put them there this time, but they actually didn't need them. Good grief. No? Still? Maybe I should go back to playing games, huh? Oh. Of course it doesn't, derp. Let's try that. Still none? Well, now I'm just confused. Let's do that because this is a little funky. How about that? Oops. There we go. Okay, except for the part where it didn't put the text in the place where I would have expected it. There we go. Try and ye shall succeed. Now the question becomes, how do we actually want to pull that off? Let's try this. Just a bit outside. Can you actually invoke snippets in the console input widget is the question of the hour. Well, that was kind of suboptimal, wasn't it? So, yeah, and it doesn't execute a command, it's hard-coded, so that does not quite do what one might like. In which case, you're left with doing that manually, which is probably, I don't know, is that good? Is that bad? Technically, it could just always be window.run command if you wanted to do something like that, because a window command will run a text command anyway. But for my own purposes, I really like to use the correct version of that to make sure that it's definitely going to do what I expect it to do. So there's that. And I'm pretty sure autocomplete doesn't work in the console widget either, on purpose. You can't turn it on even if you want to. We've been down that road previously. So as a prototype for something that could conceivably happen, not the greatest thing in the world. Best case scenario is that, not that one. if you were to pick something like this and hit Control Enter, it would know if it was a window command or a text command, so it could insert as appropriate. So there's that, right? We can actually make this a little bit nicer. We would say that would be like hard-coded based on, oh, actually, no, we can do this. Type.run command. And you could put the cursor there, right? And then you could say the type is equal to window, for example, and command is the text. So if you were to invoke that and say the command was insert, then it would end up there, and you could insert arguments if you wanted to. Or you could just hit enter and run it. So let's move that over there. I'll leave that open. Let's turn that off because that's going to drive us crazy. We'll go and clear that console too. And I can't remember if that one's a symlink to this one or not. Now comes the part where we try to figure out exactly that seems, well, if we're going to tie it into this, then that's less important. Now, Ashwin, you're the master of this. What change do I make to this to get the event? Because I've never done that before. The documentation is out of date. There should be an argument to this, should there not? That is, let's do this. Open that over here. Oh, and yeah, we'll do dev. We're doing good. A call to show quick panel may opt in to receive a second arg to be the undone callback by specifying the flag Sublime want event. All right, cool. That's easy enough. But what I was actually looking for was this. Something like that. Cool. That's the undone. I was not giving flags before, was I? Want a little bit of that. This is going to get two things then instead of one, is it not? So something like that. And then, an event dict, right on. That would be handy. If you do that, submit a pull request. Oh, no, wait, I don't have that in the packages repository yet. crap. Wait until I add this to Stealthy and Hasty's plugin thing, and then make a PR. The dict may contain 0 more. Mouse. Modifier keys. Control or command. Well, you know what? We're going to say this. Whoops. A dict with 0 more of the following keys. Well, I guess I should probably just print that. What are they, like, just set to be Booleans? I guess you do something like this. So if I pick enter, I browse to it, but if I control enter, nothing happens. So we got that going for us. Where to go from here? Nope, that's not interesting. Oh, it might be interesting. Nope, it's not interesting. Okay. I'm in too many Discords. Yeah, I don't really expect it to actually do anything useful, realistically speaking. When it's green, it's just me online. It doesn't realize that I'm actually streaming. I'm not sure when they actually implemented that, but whenever it was, it doesn't work as great as it could. I'll say that. So we're getting the quick panel item out of this thing. This is what she looks like. So if I was to paste that over here, oh, this would be a perfect opportunity. She's a scratch buffer. What did we not like about this? I can't remember off the top of my head what the... I've actually done it. I wouldn't recommend it, but I've done it. I don't know what the facility of such a thing is, mind you, but it's possible. Trigger. Let's do that. Then the same thing will work in both places. And cmd dot... Oh, crap, I shouldn't have closed that because now I don't remember what it was called. Something like yeah, if I remember correctly. Browse command list, Control Enter. Wait, what happened here? I can only do so much. I think it's very unlikely that anybody's going to swap that, but you should be able to run a 3.3 command from the 3.8 host by using run command, because it just defers it to the core. If I remember correctly. Otherwise, we're in for a world of hurt when someone creates a 3.8 plugin and tries to do something with other stuff. But maybe I'm misremembering that. I don't know an example. Well, I guess one example of that would be this. The default package runs in the 3.8 runtime. So if we set this to 3.3, still works. So that's probably okay. Oh, I see what I did. I did a whole bunch of a little bit too much JavaScript lately is what I did there. Really? Well, maybe not. I'm really starting to get irritated with this whole thing, to be perfectly honest with you. I could be playing a perfectly good game of crosscode right now. Oh, I see. I gave it a different thing. Right on. All right, well then this is name. That should not be... Whoops. Nope. Dang it. I'm panicking. Unfold, you poop. It's not kind. It's type. What I'm looking for here. On a YouTube stream? Also, I have to go to bed soon. Starting a game of crosscode could be detrimental to my health as regards staying up until 3 o'clock in the morning. Did I not change that? Did I not? So the theory is something. I haven't played Factorio in a while for that very reason. In fact, I think I was still playing it. I haven't played it since it officially left early access, which probably really dates how much stuff I have in there on the whole. Cool. I did that the smart way. Well, I had an idea for something here. That if you invoked this command from the console widget, hitting Control Enter could make it insert the appropriate command into the widget for you and reopen the panel. so as you could execute it. But I guess in order for that to work, this command needs to be smart enough to know that. How might we pull something like this off? This is an application command, so that's unfortunate. Sublime.ActiveWindow.ActiveView.element. I think that's the right thing. What's it called again? Browse commands. All right, so that does not necessarily work as great as it could. You'd need to invoke it from a key binding. And even then, I don't know that that would necessarily work. So this may be a project that is potentially unfruitful. I want to think on that one. In theory, it's kind of possible, but the fact that you can't tab through snippet fields a la this kind of makes that an unfortunate turn of events. Because otherwise, that would be potentially useful-ish. Perhaps not. We like to play with these things, though, don't we? Yes, we do. Yeah. Apart from that, I really got nothing for this evening. My brain has kind of been fried by the project that I've been working on at work. So, well, maybe I will fire up some crosscode here on the YouTube channel. What say the people viewing? I'm not sure how well it'll actually work, mind you, but I'm willing to give it a shot. Should I keep this? I'm pretty sure that we could come up with one of these again if we needed to, so we probably don't need to keep that one. Yeah. That's always an interesting thing to learn. And we can revert that back to the way that it was before. Again, none of those changes were particularly earth-shattering in any particular regard. So, we got that going for us. Shall we close out the stream with an unprecedented peek in at crosscode, which, to be fair, I haven't played in a couple of days. I'm not sure if I have the correct version here. We can test it out, though. For 15 minutes or so. I suppose, as a courtesy to Ashwin, who's also interested in the game but hasn't seen anything past to the introductory demo. I'm not sure how well it might work, but let's see. I don't actually know where the dungeon is. For the purposes here, you'll have to tell me what the volume level is like, because I have the things in this OBS set different than that one. That one. We probably don't necessarily need that to go. I think this one is the most recent game. Or this one, sorry. Oh yeah, I remember now. I was trying to cure the special tree, but I can't manage to keep the guys away from it long enough. They keep licking the tree. I don't think I have the combat skills necessary to do that at the moment. Is that volume level for game stuff too high, too low, just right? What's this? I don't remember if I went that way or not. Let's do that. Oh yeah, that's the way I came in. Cool. I think I have, in fact, been here. Yeah. Hey, there's something down there. Oh yeah. I remember that. That's less interesting than it could be. For this purpose. Yeah, there's all kinds of cool stuff in here. Let's see. Maybe I didn't go through there. I'll teleport there, just, you know, save me from walking a screen. Oh. I should probably be collecting more of that crap too. Yeah. This is new to me. Is this the dungeon? Have I found the dungeon? All right, well, I need to know about that then, don't I? No way to get across that, I'm guessing. And I can't go in that building. Yay, I got a purple ore lump. That's exciting. All right. Our impossible quest continues. Was there another exit to here that I missed? Oh, unless that's actually the mine. I never actually got into it. It is, yeah. I'm not sure exactly where it is stashed. That looks like it might be an exit. Let's see. Quick travel in a game like this is essential, you know? I want to go up and left. All right. Oh, right. Where'd it go? Oh, crap. Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. Up there? I don't like my chances. I did that wrong. Let's go back over here and wait for it to restart. Crap. Yeah, that's a nice house. We got over here. We'll wait for the timer to run out and go again. Some of those diagonal jumps tend to catch me. How the hell do I get up there? I guess I probably should have activated that first somehow, huh? Oh. Let's do that. I probably should have did that before. You too, sir. I'm not going to be on for much longer. I really do have to go to bed sometime soon. But I would like to accomplish at least one thing. This fine eventide. Where'd the other one go? Oh, it's up there. Seriously? Yes, I can, but then I'd have to fight them. I do generally spend a bunch of time whacking the plants, yes. But talk to Bob. I did break a sweat. I did break a sweat indeed. Yay! I got a sandwich. So that's exciting. The thing that Ben was pointing out was that. There's stuff in these, and there's a quest going on right now to analyze all of them and such. If I was to do this, for example... then I may in fact run away. Uh-oh. Angry penguin. I'm gonna abandon that particular operation at the moment. Those guys are jerk bags too. Stop fighting, man. You're gonna get us all killed. Uh-oh. Lesson learned. You just sort of stand still for a minute, and then life goes good. All right. The point of that operation was to see if there was a path to the left here, wasn't there? Wasn't it, I should say. Because I've never been this way But it doesn't look like it goes anywhere too exciting. Oh, neat. I don't think anything mentioned that. Probably could have also set her to not be so freaking bloodthirsty. Dang. Whoa. Oh yeah, it says skip right up there. Derp. Yeah, I never paid that much attention to what it says up there. I just sort of listened for the sound of it counting down. Hooray for a level. Did I get another, Oh, I got 2 now. This is where the real Sophie's choice of this whole operation comes into play. More life, more healing, more focus, more damage. And if I want damage, do I want melee damage or ranged damage? I'm kind of one of those people that likes to wang people from a distance so that I don't have to get too up close and personal. Or was able to same. That one's just attack in general, huh? Ah, I see. Ranged attacks by 12 or all attacks by 6. Oh my. Is this one of those situations where you eventually get enough points to unlock everything if you want? Or is it one of those ones where you only get enough points to unlock 2/3 and if you pick the wrong path, you're kind of unhappy about it later? Is a thing to ponder. Ow! I stuck. Yeah, that figures. Oh, I'm between these two right now. That costs or something, doesn't it? I like how these ones let you swap branches. That's sort of a neat thing. Oh, I didn't even realize I haven't got all of those either. I should also guard more. Just because I played for 5 hours doesn't mean I'm that great at the battle component of this yet. Now, I generally try to keep things as I originally rolled them for good or ill. That looks like a place I should be going. Ah, balls. Oh, whoops. Come back! I want to kill you. What I meant to do was not that. What time we got here? Yeah. Oh. I've been trying, wow, not to fight guys in here because of that. I am not super great at games where the combat requires you to aim it with the mouse while I'm moving with the keyboard. I prefer to attack in the direction I'm facing, so I tend to do dumb crap with that regard. I'm guessing that there's something in this scene or another that has the button necessary to unlock that. Oh, I could do that, I suppose. Nothing exciting there, huh? I am, but I don't know that I have one that will work with Linux because they're all Bluetooth. Although, I do have, somewhere, I do have the little Bluetooth pajigger. No, but I've never actually, it's ridiculously old. I'm not sure if it supports a level of Bluetooth that would actually work for our purposes here. One thing that I enjoy about this is the way, yeah, why would it attack us? Never mind the snow bazooka. Run away! Oh, neat. Yeah, I have a couple of Xbox controllers and lots of Wiimotes. What was I saying there? One of the things I like about this game is the way puzzles require you to path around multiple levels, multiple screens. You know, like I might have to go 4 screens to the left to go up a level to be able to enter the screen that I want to get at the part that I require to do what I want to do. I enjoy that, while I simultaneously am annoyed by it in some instances. That's not what I meant to do. Ah! I did not push that button nearly fast enough. What was that you said about almost? As I... Oh, what the hell? Oh. That's interesting. I I feel like that's going to be a thing. Let's say, as I was saying before, one of the potential issues I have with this is getting used to the combat, which I still have not quite done yet. Simpler things are easy to deal with. Then the more, especially at higher levels, and these guys get totally aggro on you out of nowhere. Whoops. I did it. That's exciting. Funny you say that, because this Bluetooth dongle I got specifically to be able to connect a Wiimote to a system for the purposes of playing that Frets on Fire game that we talked about previously. Oh, that's interesting. This is why I need the experts here for something like this. It always seems like that, you know, is not going to... Whoops. That could explain why I'm having so many problems. Damn bunnies. Ah. Oops. Come back, guy. I can't see you. Does the person that's fighting with you have their own supply of consumables, or do they use yours? It's also something I was vaguely curious about. Whoops. But I always forget to check. We got a rank B. We also have mostly deadness here. Yeah, there is a definite thatness to it. I've been here, right? Yeah. Like, for example... Oh, let's see. Those are level 16 and I'm level 13. They seem to like eat sandwiches and stuff. I'm assuming they don't use mine because that would be entirely jerk baggy, but it's something that I think of in the middle of battle and then I never think to check. Ah, that's true. Sometimes it's hard to separate what makes the most logical sense from what someone that's kind of a jerk would do. Alright, that's probably not going to work. Neither is that. I remember running away from stuff in this when I went through it the first time. I think I went up here. I didn't expect to see any green gardens at this altitude either, to be perfectly honest. Probably got about 5-10 more minutes, and then I will jump on off of here. No. This is a pretty chillax type operation after a long day, though. I hope your change wrangling went okay. Right of the green patch? Hang on. Let me grab some stuff here. Where was that? Over here? I'm already lost. Let's see. We went over here. I'm pretty sure what happens is I fall off the mountain. Oh, it's right. Yeah, there's something over here, but I don't have the power to break ice blocks yet. So there's not a lot to be done. Harsh. I've been working for 2 days on the thing that I showed the git diff of earlier, and I'm still only 2/3 of the way. And still having kind of issues with it on the whole. TypeScript is being a little bit of a jerk, and our code is kind of gross. Indeed, yeah, it's very it's a very cool technical achievement. Yeah, that's right. You just teleport away from there. I'm not sure. Oh yeah. That's something else I'm supposed to do, but I'm pretty sure that that's also a quest that's a little too beefy for me at the moment. Oh, I could actually potentially I could yeah. I'm actually powerful enough for that one now. Let's go do that. And then call it a night. Pathway 5 is over here somewhere, isn't it? Closest one is here. Righten up. Out of my way, you. That's all the... Oh! Whoops. I did not mean to do that. Oh. Whoops. Accidentally clicked out of the window. I'm gonna need more guys. Uh-oh. Shoot. Plus I went the wrong way because I think I wanted to... Oh, no, I want to go up. Let's go ahead and do that. Yeah. There you are, my friend. Let's see. Right or left on this one? I can't remember. It must be over here somewhere. Nope. Okay, let's do that again. We got to be on that level. That's coming from that side. So maybe more from over here. Oh, I should probably... Whoops. I can't remember if I have all those ones yet. Oh, there we go. I totally didn't. So that's good. Yeah. Should have known that wasn't going to work. Is it just me as somebody that watched a lot of Breaking Bad that the name Tukos is kind of spooky? And you expect them to have a weird grill and smoke meth? Follow a guy. I might be able to do that. Come back, guy. Come on. There we go. He went over here, didn't he? There we go. All right, all I gotta do is go inside and fight a monster. Well, okay, here's what's gonna happen. We kill this monster, and then in victory, we end the stream. Or the monster kicks my butt, and then in sad defeat, we end the stream. One way or the other, it's going down here. Yeah, that's exactly the sort of thing I want to see in the chat after I say something like that. All right, I'm scared already. It's dark in here. Oh no, it's a gigantic hill cat. Whoops. Where the hell are they? Uh-oh. That went badly quickly. What the hell happened there? Oh. I probably should have done something about that before. Those things only last for like a few seconds though, as I recall. Oops. Yeah, I've only done it a couple of times, and it was like 8 or 9 seconds or something. Yeah, I got weird hill cat tech. That's pretty exciting. Let's go tell Tukos. And then press the magic button. Ooh, I thought he was gonna hog my glory. Hang on, let's see. Oh, Fall Divers HQ, you say? Now I gotta remember where that is? Good grief. We'll stand. It's around here, is it? Bronze, some stuff, and iron, one of those things. I started with the newbie stuff, and then I've pretty much only been... well, actually, no, I bought all the stuff that I could find so far at the town that I had money for. I think I have more cash now than I had before. Yeah. I just... the ability to have more... crap, I can't remember what it was now. The bronze stuff was just before that main town, or the frozen town at the top there that I started at here. I think that was the spot where... Oh, actually, I guess that's not true, is it? Because when I got there was somebody there that said something along the lines of she wanted to have a bronze mail, but she was too chicken to go to the store, so I had to go buy one for her. It doesn't help that much, does it? Chances are good, yeah. I was just sort of wandering around while I tend to game. Let's go ahead and do this first before I forget. Yeah, create a new one. Can never have too many saves. I tend to game by while we're like watching TV and stuff. I just sort of noodle around, except for the other night when I spent a concerted amount of time doing stuff. But we'll go ahead and click that as well. One of the things that I was actually going to do is spend some time killing stuff without her in my party so I could get levels up faster. But then I can't remember what the reason was. I decided to call her in anyway. But more or less what I have been doing, or what the plan to do next, is just sort of wander around and fight some more stuff to get more levels and get better at fighting, because as you've seen, I'm not that great at that particular aspect of this just yet. I'm led to believe that there's enough stuff in dungeons that when you get to them, it sort of fills in the gaps a little bit, so you don't have to spend tons of time grinding, which is kind of something that I enjoy about games like this, the battle practice fighting stuff to gain things. So I don't know entirely what to make about that. But in any case, this is not particularly Sublime Text related. It is a little bit of a slow day overall. As far as things go, I burned my brain at work, and it sounds like you're kind of doing the same thing as well with changes. Fun times were had by all software developers everywhere. So we're gonna go ahead and call it. But we will be live on Twitch tomorrow. Possibly a little bit of gaming stuff at the end of the stream there as well, after some hard-earned work. We're going to be doing a little bit more stuff based on the things we were working on Friday, which was an OBS overlay as a single file. Although I have been requested to essentially create stream elements from scratch. So we'll see what comes of that. Thanks everybody for watching the live stream. We'll be back next week here, tomorrow on Twitch, and always in the Sublime Text forum. So hope everybody has a great night, and I promise you I'm gonna go to bed. I'm not gonna keep playing this for the next 2.5 hours. So that would not be a wise move. Yeah, Yeah, I totally just paused the music and didn't quit it, but I'm totally going to quit it once the stream is over. And before I go, that's interesting because I could have swore something in the game said you get more experience by yourself because it's not split across the party. Which made sense to me because that's how it works in a lot of other games. But it's definitely more fun with a party, I will say that. And with that, I'm definitely not going to be playing this for the next hour and a half or 2 hours. Until I fall asleep in the chair. And I will see everybody in the next stream.